The Tibetan calendar is a lunisolar calendar, that is, the Tibetan year is composed of either 12 or 13 lunar months, each beginning and ending with a new moon. A 13th month is added every 2 or 3 years, so that an average Tibetan year is equal to the solar year. The Tibetan New Year celebration is Losar. According to almanacs, the year starts with the third month. There were many different traditions in Tibet to fix the beginning of the year. There were different traditions of naming years in Tibet. From the 12th century onwards, we observe the usage of 2 60-year cycles. The 60-year cycle is known as the Vrihaspati cycle and was first introduced into Tibet by an Indian Buddhist by the name of Chandranathan Silu Pandit in 1025 CE. The first cycle is the Rapjunk cycle. The first year of the first Rapjunk cycle started in 1027. This cycle was adopted from India. The second cycle was derived from China and was called Drukgyukor. The first year of the first Drukgyukor cycle started in 1024. The cycles were counted by ordinal numbers, but the years within the cycles were never counted but referred to by special names. The structure of the Drukgyukor was as follows. Each year is associated with an animal and an element, similar to the Chinese zodiac. Animals have the following order. Elements have the following order. Each element is associated with 2 consecutive years, first in its male aspect, then in its female aspect. For example, a male earth dragon year is followed by a female earth snake year, then by a male iron horse year. The sex may be omitted, as it can be inferred from the animal. The element-animal designations recur in cycles of 60 years, starting with a wood rat year. These large cycles are numbered, the first cycle starting in 1024. Therefore, 2005 roughly corresponds to the wood rooster year of the 17th cycle. The first year of the 60-year cycle of Indian origin is called Rabbi Ung and is equivalent to the fire rabbit year. Years with cardinal numbers. 3 relatively modern notations of cardinal numbers are used for Tibetan years. On Tibetan banknotes from the first half of the 20th century, cardinal numbers can be seen, with year 1 in 225 CE, which is a reference to the legendary 28th emperor of Tibet, Thothori Nyansen. Since the second half of the 20th century, another year notation has been used, where the year of, for example, 2009 coincides with the Tibetan year of 2136. This relatively modern year notation is referred to as Bojalo. In this era, the first year is 127 BCE, dated to the legendary progenitor of the Yarlung dynasty, Nyatri Zenpo. In Tibetan calendars of the second half of the 20th century and on Tibetan coins, cardinal year numbers are found with the indication of Raplo, where the first year coincides with the first year of the Rapjunk cycle, that is 1027. Rablo 928, for example, is the year of 1954 on the Western Gregorian calendar. Months. During the time of the Tibetan Empire, Tibetan months were named according to the 4 seasons. First spring month, middle spring month, last spring month, first summer month, middle summer month, last summer month, first autumn month, middle autumn month, last autumn month, first winter month, middle winter month and last winter month. From the 12th century onwards, each month has been named by the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac: stag, Yos, Ru, Sprul, Rta, Lug, Spreu, Byi, Khy, Fag, Byi and Glang. With the introduction of the calendar of the Kalatsakratantra in the second half of the 11th century, months were also named via lunar mansions within which, roughly speaking, a full moon took place each month. In the second half of the 13th century, the famous ruler Drogon Chog Chogyal Phagpa introduced the system of counting the month by ordinal numbers, the so-called Mongolian month. All these systems of counting and naming months were used up to modern times. Days. There are three different types of days: the Kymshag, the Tsheshag, and the Nyinshag. The first two of these days are astronomical days. The time needed for the mean sun to pass through one of the 12 traditional signs of the zodiac is called Kymzla. 1/30th of one solar month is one Kymshag, which might be called a zodiacal day, because there is no equivalent name in Western terminology. The time needed by the moon to elongate 12 degrees from the sun and every 12 degrees thereafter is one tithi. The lengths of such lunar days vary considerably due to variations in the movements of the moon and sun. 30 lunar days form one lunar synodic month, the period from new moon to new moon. This is equal to the time needed for the moon to elongate 360 degrees from the sun. The natural day is defined by Tibetans as the period from dawn to dawn. Strictly speaking, the months appearing in a Tibetan almanac, called by Tibetan calendar months, are not the same as lunar synodic months, which can begin and end at any time of day. In Tibetan, there is no special term for a calendar month containing whole days. These calendar months are just called Zla. A Tibetan calendar month normally starts with the weekday and natural day in which the first tithi ends. A Tibetan calendar month normally ends with the weekday and natural day in which the 30th tithi ends. In consequence, a Tibetan calendar month comprises 29 of 30 natural days. In the sequence of natural days or weekdays, there are no emitted days or days that occur twice, but since these days are also named by the term Tshes together with a cardinal number, it happens that certain numbers or dates do not occur at all or appear twice. The tithi are counted from 1 to 30, and it can happen that a Monday with a lunar day number 1 is followed by a Tuesday with a moon day number 3. On the other hand, a Monday with a lunar day number the 1st may be followed by a Tuesday with a lunar day number 1. In other words, it happens quite often that certain dates do not appear in the Tibetan almanac and certain dates occur twice. But there are no natural days or weekdays that occur twice or which are omitted. The days of the week are named for astronomical objects. Nima, sun, Dawa, moon, and Lagpa, Mercury, are common personal names for people born on Sunday, Monday, or Wednesday, respectively. History. During the time of the Yarlung dynasty, years were named after the 12 animals common in the Chinese zodiac. The months were named according to the 4 seasons of a year, and the year started in summer. The translation of the Kalachakra Tantra in the second half of the 11th century AD marked the beginning of a complete change for the calendar in Tibet. The first chapter of this book contains, among others, a description of an Indian astronomical calendar and descriptions of the calculations to determine the length of the 5 planets and the sun and moon eclipses. According to the Buddhist tradition, the original teachings of the Kalachakra were taught by Buddha himself. Nevertheless, it took more than 200 years until the Kalachakra calendar was officially introduced as the official Tibetan calendar by the ruler Drogon Chogyal Phagpa in the second half of the 13th century. Although this calendar was changed many times during the subsequent centuries, it kept its original character as a lunisolar calendar of Indian origin.